In Chapter 25, Wrath from the Past, our friends split up in Mukmu for possibly the last time, as their inevitable departure draws near. Safira meets with Massive and picks up a strange smooth stone she requested from him days before.
It won't be useful for what we have planned, but Putty here thought it made sense to get you a handle on how it works. Now, you can feel free to try it out, but in 24 hours, or more like 20 at this point, it will become inert, but you should hang on to the stone. It can always be reused later.
Erland and Graven assign Orba to disguise herself and speak to Wesley in the hopes that he may have a copy of Grimari's Giant Grimoire First Edition for sale.
I have a thought. There's a path off the main square, not far from here. It'll lead between two buildings to a back alley. It'll open up into a small dirt yard with a well. I heard there's a man there who collects rare trinkets. Haven't met him myself, but they say it's the house with the wind chimes. The man's name is Lufami.
They decide that further investigation could draw attention to the group and therefore hinder the scouting mission, so back to Safira, who assigns another young homeless boy to investigate any underground structures that might give her a lead on the gases that have been seeping into the ground.
Looking for a tunnel?
Anything that gets you underground, but listen, you need to be very, very, very careful, do you understand? I don't want you to go in, I just want you to find the entrance and tell me where it is, do you understand?
Tunnel or a basement or anything underground?
Anything underground.
Erland crosses town to Vaclav's home just in time to witness Vaclav's wife cutting through a vine that's growing out of his mouth. After administering the medicine Adept Melody gave him, Erland gets to the bottom of this heinous sickness.
He got the aches, and the tumors, the bumps on his body started to appear. Sometimes I would wake up in the night, and I'd roll over. And I'd go to put my arm around him, and it would be hard. Like the bark of a tree.
Another plant boy, perhaps? As that's happening, Beezaura meets with Ferd, and the ransacking begins. But at the second house, Ferd is overcome with rage, downs a fire-breathing potion, and commands Beezaura to leave.
And he starts
And I just run.
Throughout this chaos, Graven and Orba enter the Lakafuyu temple in the hopes of meeting the Goliath priestess Lady Sangrela. As soon as she sees Graven, she recognizes him. But time begins to slow, and Kauzni chastises Graven.
I have something for you. You're too early, but I have it. It's here somewhere. I know it. She takes out another drawer. No, just give me 1 second.
Get out of here before I hurt you.
And she takes another one.
Stop. Please. Out of your grave.
Wait!
Graven blacks out and wakes in his bed at the lakeside inn with no clue as to how he got there and an item in his hand that Lady Sangrela had given him. Confused and concerned, Graven locates the innkeeper and demands information.
You came in here just a moment ago.
How long ago?
I don't know, 10 minutes?
Where am I going to go? That I tried for them at the cemetery.
Rewind to when Graven disappears, Orba is left standing in the temple seeing nothing where Graven and Sangrela once stood. As Orba screams for Graven, she races out of the temple, panicking for her lost friend.
And as you're running, you look to your right, and there seems to be a house that's like smoking to your right, that's kind of billowing in smoke, and you see a large crowd kind of around it, and you kind of run by that. No one's paying you any mind because they're sort of all focused on the fire. And you run through the streets, and that's where we're gonna end for the evening.
Oh my god!
So sorry.
I thought you
Is Erland seeing what Myconid extract does to those that don't possess his gift? Will Ferd snitch on Beezaura as he is inevitably captured by law enforcement? What in the name of Kauzni did Graven do during his hour-long blackout? Find out next time on Tabletop Notch.